Hey, Dave.
Hi.
Everybody. Pixelblips podcast. Hola.
What up?
I'm super tired. It's been a long week for Andy.
It has been a long week for Andy, but a very productive week for Andy.
Incredibly productive.
If you watch
Anyway,
the videos, you might have seen Andy.
So something happened this week while I was running around running at Mach 10, doing 88 different things, and that something that happened was I'm very excited for the game Alien Isolation. Like, very excited. Like, my favorite Alien game.
You sound really excited. Like you were sitting here going, I'm really excited.
I was very excited.
Okay. It's very
so
true.
my favorite Alien, I constantly get in arguments with people because my two favorite Alien movies are the first one,
Yes.
Alien, and the third one, Alien 3. And everyone's like, well, you don't like Aliens? It's not that I don't like it, it's just not my favorite.
It's number 3 in Andy's list of Alien movies.
Yes.
Maybe 4 if you like Alien Resurrection.
No, I don't like Alien Resurrection.
Oh.
And Prometheus I still don't really count because it doesn't really link in yet.
It's like, we need Prometheus 2.
Yeah, like I do like I would say I like Prometheus about as much as I like Aliens.
Okay.
So for me, one of the scariest moments as a child, I can always remember watching the John Carpenter's The Thing for the first time, and watching Alien for the first time on the Sci-Fi Channel when I was like 11
or something like that.
Super young. And it's always like just haunted me. And when I watched Aliens, it wasn't as scary because like the thing about Aliens is there's more alien.
Well, yeah,
and it's more like
it's not just one critter on the ship.
Yeah,
there's
it's
a whole
more like
bunch
a zombie movie. It's more like a zombie movie. There's a whole bunch of them, and they're going to kill you because there's a whole bunch of them.
Yes,
like
they're going to mow you down in mass.
Yes, to me, the first Alien's super scary because it lives inside of you. It violently kills you when it bursts out of you, and then it hunts your friends one by one.
Yes.
It is like...
And if you shoot it, it bleeds acid, and it still gets you.
Yes, it's like if Jason Voorhees and that brain-eating amoeba, like, had a baby.
Oh, why'd you have to bring up the baby?
Yeah, I was in a freshwater lake yesterday, so that was all I was thinking.
I'm gonna get the amoeba,
I was like floating, and I was just thinking like, oh, amoeba, I jumped in the water.
I'm gonna die.
But that brain-eating, flesh-eating amoeba, like, so that's why I think Alien is so scary. So every Alien game that has come out has not been that.
No.
It has been like a first-person shooter for the Alien, what was that, Alien Trilogy?
Yeah, I was thinking more like AVP, the Aliens versus Predator, but yeah.
But
a lot of them are first-person shooters.
A lot of them first-person shooters. There was that awesome Capcom arcade game.
Was it 2D Fighter?
No, it was a Final Fight, beat 'em up.
Yeah, so it was a side-scrolling.
Yeah, and then they did that AVP game for the Super Nintendo. But most of them have been action-oriented games. So when they finally came out and they said, hey guys, we're making a survival horror alien game, and it's only one alien, and it takes place between Alien and Aliens, and you're playing Ripley's daughter.
Kid, yeah.
So it expands on the universe story in a way that I think Alien Colonial Marines kind of wanted to, but like fell on its face.
Well, because
like,
it wasn't about it was you're on this planet and here's all these aliens. Good luck. Or whatever it was. You know, I never played Colonial Marines.
If you ever played the PlayStation 2 and Xbox game for John Carpenter's The Thing, the story for that and the story for Alien Colonial Marines, exactly the same. It is hilarious how similar those two things are.
That's not good.
It's you're the guys showing up after the distress signal has been sent out and everything's gone to shit.
Yep.
It's to me, the minute I heard it, I was like, hey, I played that game. John Carpenter's The Thing. It was really, really good. Also, if you ever get a chance to play the Xbox 360 or PlayStation 2 version of John Carpenter's The Thing, I recommend the Xbox 360 version. The frame rate's much more solid, and it's an awesome game.
Well, because you're talking about the PS2 and the 360.
Yeah.
So.
No, the Xbox.
Original Xbox. Okay, I was going to say.
Sorry.
Yeah, well, I mean, the Xbox was a more powerful machine.
The beefier machine.
Yeah.
So anyway, so I was like, this sounds great. This sounds awesome. And I'm really interested in this game. And then they showed us how it looked.
Yeah.
They did a bunch of behind-the-scenes stuff with the guy that directed the cinematics, the level designers, where they're like, basically, we couldn't make like 3D hologram displays like they had in Prometheus and like we had in Colonial Marines because that wouldn't make sense. And the minute they said that, I was like, thank you! Because they were like, we needed to like make things with like big industrial switches. And all of the monitors are like CRT green monitors with the clicking sound. Remember how they used to make those?
Yeah.
Like it was almost like it was gunning its engine to start putting the image on the screen.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember.
I loved those, and that was such a big part of Alien, the movie, because like Mother is that giant computer.
Mm-hmm.
That's this huge room of blinking lights in this big spherical room, really cool looking and designed by Ridley Scott. He's as a director he's awesome, but as a designer he's just amazing.
Yeah.
Everyone always talks about it in his movies. So they're like, we didn't know how the scene was going to look. So Ridley grabbed a piece of paper,
and then
5 seconds later, we was like, here.
This is what you need to do.
There you go. That's what it looks like. So it was really cool. And then, but the problem is, in the middle of Mother, is they have a chair they sit in, and then there's like a terminal, and they basically just shoved like a Commodore, an Apple monitor in that terminal, and then when they click, it's that old Kathunk heavy switch keyboard.
Yeah.
Clunk, 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 clunk. So the people that made are making Alien Isolation were like, we had to ape that technology.
Yeah.
So that it would make sense. So I was like, cool, I'm sold. I'm going to buy this game. But I also don't pre-order games.
No. And you were telling me, I don't keep up with like a lot of the pre-order bonuses unless it's like, hey, you get beta access. And I don't throw $2 or $3 down or $5 down for a beta access to a game. So I could try it, and then if I don't like it, cancel the beta.
But when there's a picture of like John Hurt and David Scarrett and Sigourney Weaver staring me in the face, I'm going to click on that link.
Yes.
And so the big news this week was Sega announced that if you pre-order Alien Isolation, you will get this episode that takes place at the end of Alien, where you are the crew of the Nostromo. There's a scene in Alien where they are trying to capture and trap the alien.
Yes.
If you've never seen Alien, and this scene sounds familiar, it's because this scene is ripped off in every science fiction slasher movie since.
Yes.
Like, I remember watching, I think it was Jason X or something, and they were doing
That's
like...
the one where they're in space, right?
When they were in space, yeah, and there's almost a shot-for-shot, like, almost a remake of the scene.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is awesome, because it's Alien. Like,
yeah.
Like, if you're a dork, you're going to be like, oh, this is an homage to Alien.
Yes.
And they have these really cool irisine vent covers that go really quickly.
Yeah.
And it's a cool trick with the camera speed. But it always looks awesome. And no one's ever been able to do it as awesome looking as Alien does it. When they like hit the switch, and then so basically they just hit the switch, and the actor had to stand still, and then they would ratchet up the speed of the camera, and it would go and make it look like the iris was closing super quickly on the vents.
Yeah.
So I was like, that's so awesome. It's so low tech. So, and then I watched this video, they're talking about how they had to remake the Nostromo, because the new game doesn't take place on the Nostromo.
No, it takes place somewhere else.
Because if you remember the end of Alien, the Nostromo gets blown up. We're going to get to that in a second. So they're like,
spoilers!
We had to recreate the Nostromo, and I was like, cool, I've always wanted to walk around the Nostromo, because I have all this Alien stuff, I have books about Alien, like, making the sets are awesome.
Yeah.
The Nostromo set was this whole enclosed thing inside of a soundstage.
Yeah. Which,
if you don't know how they make movies or TV, like, that's ludicrously insane that you would do that. It is literally like you were taking, like, at that point, you might as well just throw your camera in front of a truck. Because, like, having something, the Panavision cameras at that time were so big, so immense.
Yeah.
And then cramming those into a cramped hallway because you wanted this spaceship to look really cramped.
Well, and I mean, it's a spaceship, right? Like, there's not, when you think about the stuff that we have now, like...
Well, but that's what I like about... That's
the ISS is not... like football fields of space.
No,
I mean,
no.
they're talking about like a 5-foot hallway that connects these like 5x5 or 10x10 chunks.
Yes,
that's it.
And that's what I like about Prometheus and the first 3 Alien movies, is that they looked at how would, Alien is about space truckers.
Yes.
Basically, these guys have a tugboat. They go latch onto a mining satellite and they drag it back.
Yeah.
So they were like, okay, so this is going to be kind of low-techy. And then they were like, okay, so in Aliens, this is a military ship. This needs to look huge, and this is also a mining colony, so it needs to look dangerous. So, and then in Alien 3, they were like, okay, this is a penal colony. This needs to look like the scuzz on a dumpster. Like, this needs to be the worst-looking thing in the world, and I just love it. It just, for that reason, Alien 3 is awesome. And the director, David Fincher assembly cut of Alien 3 is the only one you should watch. The official cut of Alien 3...
not as good.
Stay away from that one.
Watch the special version.
So, and then Alien Resurrection is kind of a fun Saturday afternoon. But the cool thing I liked about Prometheus when it came out and I was watching it in the theater is that you never got like the Starship Enterprise version of these people, and that would be the first people that saw the alien. Would be like scientists.
Yeah.
In an interstellar travel, like discovering this thing for the first time.
Yeah.
And except for some weird shit with the story in Prometheus, that's really what it is. And their their spaceship looks totally state of the art. Whereas if you compare that to what happened in Alien, which Alien is supposed to happen years after Prometheus, like, you think Alien's thing is all like broken and like big clunky keyboards and switches and fire extinguishers everywhere. Yeah. And nothing looks like cool at all. It all looks like a Mack truck, basically.
Yeah, but I mean,
a big stick shift.
I guess I mean just like today, right? Like there are still relics of, you know, when we think like vehicles now, right? There are still those relics of the 60s and 70s.
Well, there's a difference between like this looks like a Jeep. Like if you sat in the driver's seat of a Jeep Wrangler, okay?
Yeah.
It looks different than the driver's seat of a Hummer. It looks different than sitting in the driver's seat of a Ferrari.
Yes.
It looks different than sitting in the driver's seat of a Prius, or like a 1980s Chevy, or like a 1950s Chevy.
Yeah.
So that's what I like about this world.
Is it's built up a little bit.
Yeah, and there are people still driving 1980s and 50s Chevys. There are people driving Hummers from the mid-90s.
If it still works, why replace it? So, you know, for all intents and purposes, the ship from Alien could be from like 20 years before Prometheus happened. And it's just, if it ain't broke, we're just, if it breaks a little, we'll fix it. If it explodes, well, then I guess we're done.
Like the Nostromo could be a tug between Earth and Mars, because at the start of Prometheus, they've already colonized Mars.
Yeah.
And they're like, we're just putting different jets on it so it can go farther. We get the cryo tubes. We're fine.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Just add crap and make it.
So anyway, I was really cool. I was like, that's a pre-order bonus. That's a thing that might make me pre-order something.
Yes.
If you told me like, Andy, this game takes place after Alien, but we're going to give you this little cool Nostromo thing. And I was like, that's really cool, guys.
Yes.
Okay. So then I read the article after watching the video.
Mm-hmm.
And after I watched the video, I was really excited to read the article. And it said, if you pre-order at GameStop, which is, we all know, my favorite place in the world, if you pre-order at GameStop, you get another special chapter of this episode where you get to play Ripley after they've tried to capture the alien and everything goes horribly wrong.
It doesn't work.
Because don't try. If you ever see an alien in real life, you're dead. That's it. You're done.
Pretty much, yeah. They're like ninjas.
If you actually see it, you're done.
They're like ninjas. If you see a ninja, you're probably dead. So,
like if I lived 150 years in the future with the knowledge I have now, and they were like, "Hey, Andy, there's an alien outbreak on this planet," I'd be like, "I'm done. I'm not getting off of this planet. It's not going to happen. I'm done. You've said that.
If you send me to that planet, you might as well just,
Yeah, I'm done. It's not happening because that's the alien. That's what it does. It's so awesome at killing everything.
Everything.
So they were like, but you'll get this special Ripley episode where you play as Ripley.
If you go to the planet or if you pre-order?
GameStop.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. if you pre-order. You can't go to the planet yet.
Oh.
Anyway, and the Nostromo didn't go to the planet. Anyway, so if you get to play the end of the movie, basically, where Ripley's running around trying to dodge the alien while putting on the Nostromo on self-destruct, get to the Narcissus capsule, get locked into your spacesuit, the alien's in the escape pod with you, you blow it out the airlock, and then cryo sleep, fade to black, 9 years later, fade up from black, and it's actually 80 years later, your little tug's being pulled into the Sulaco, and you're now going to go with some Marines, kill some aliens, and it doesn't go well.
No.
But Michael Bihn's in it, and he's really good in that movie. And they mostly come out at night. Mostly. This is also a good time to plug our friend Nicksplosion FX. I worked with him on one of his most recent videos, which is so Mario comes over and to get a Yoshi egg, and the facehugger busts out of it.
Oh yeah, I saw that one.
I love that one. I was like,
pretty good.
Him and I have been talking about that one for a while because he's a big Alien fan. I'm a big Alien fan. We both like video games. Anyway, so when they said pre-order at GameStop, I was immediately like, no, I'm not pre-ordering this shit at all because this shit's going to be available for like $5 or $10.
Months after, though.
3 or 4 months afterwards, and I'm not gonna.
You might as well just wait and buy.
I'm not gonna say, hey Sega, I want you to do this to me again.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say, don't do it.
Yeah, you might as well just. I'm not advocating like if you're excited about this game, you should obviously buy it when it comes out.
No, I'm going to buy it when it comes out, unless it's like I was going. Time out. I was going to buy Colonial Marines when it came out, but then I read the first review and I went, and then I read the second review and I went, and then the third review and I was like, I'm not. This is gonna be $10 on like a flash sale at some point, or like $1 somewhere, and
so you don't have to actually buy like a box. You just have
there'll be that moment where it's like, hey Andy, what is the lowest threshold that we can go to that will get you to buy Alien Colonial Marines? And they'll be like, it's $5 today on a flash sale. Like I will buy it for $5. That's worth my, and I will play through it once and be like, I'm an Alien completist. I will
play this game.
I played that game and we're done.
Yeah, no, I'm never going to play this game again. As soon as it's done, getting deleted.
That one scene with like where they're trying to like go through the sewers and the toxic, like basically the aliens were born and they ate some. There's some weird, like, narrative reason for it, but the aliens are basically blind and retarded, so you can sneak around them, which that's like you were taken away, like you're not making them scary anymore.
Yeah.
So it's just dumb. Like just make them zombies. Like the Konami Alien game that came out, or the Konami Aliens game that came out in arcade, there were zombies. The Capcom Aliens game that came out in arcades, there were zombies. Like, just make them zombies.
Zombie aliens.
Just say that there's like, this is a mutation of the facehugger, and it actually, the person's still walking around alive, like John Hurt's character.
Yeah.
Except like, the alien's gonna burst out of them at any moment. Like, do something like that. Yeah. Don't do something stupid, which, for whatever reason, Gearbox and the company that worked with Gearbox to make this game just always veered on the, do we want to do the not stupid thing or the stupid thing? Oh, let's go over here and do the stupid thing.
We're gonna do the dumb thing.
Like, take this franchise that's been around for like 30 plus years, and that people really love, and like shit all over it.
Yeah, I mean it's well, and that's the thing, right? Like, it's always hard to take a movie and make a really good game out of it, because usually the
certain movies make excellent games. Jurassic Park makes excellent games. Transformers.
You didn't play the Jurassic Park games for the Genesis, did you?
Yeah, I did.
No, they're not very good.
I did platformers.
I didn't think they were very good.
No. I'm just saying, like, movies that would make great games. Jurassic Park, Transformers, James Bond movies, Terminator. Oh, I always think the Terminator games are genius. Even that one on the Genesis where you have to use the controller to shoot.
The Revolution X first-person shooter.
Yeah, because it's
on rails.
You're shooting an army of robots. How is that not fun?
No, that's fine. Like, I'm saying, there are movie franchises that can make good games, but don't always.
The best Dawn of the Dead game, Resident Evil 2.
But that's not really that's not a direct Dawn of the Dead.
Did you ever play the Land of the Dead game? Road to Fiddler's Green on the Xbox. I played it, and I was
on
like,
that Xbox or the 360?
Original Xbox.
Okay.
And I was like, no, we're never doing this again.
No.
This is the dumbest thing in the world. It's kind of like that Walking Dead game that came out. When they announced
the bad Walking Dead game.
Yeah, when they announced the bad Walking Dead game, I immediately had like bad flashbacks of the bad Land of the Dead game. I was like, oh.
I mean, you could take probably any movie and make a good game out of it, but the difference between
case in point, like Seven, the most nihilistically horrible movie, like just senses shattering, like, oh my god, the world's an entirely bleak place. I would have never said you could have made a game that was like Seven, and then like.
They made it.
Fast forward, they're like, here's Heavy Rain, and I was like, oh, you guys actually made a game that's pretty much like Seven. Like, that's amazing.
Yep.
So, like, it can be done.
Yes, it can be done.
But you have to, like, know, like, what makes the movie special.
So, I think the big point that we're all heading at is, last time with Colonial Marines, Sega had all this crazy pre-ordered crap, and you could have the super big collector's edition with the little statue and all that. And that game was terrible. So,
did you know that's how they made the facehugger move? It's a dude with
gloves on. Gloves on, they just went like.
And like this is like its little antenna and then he was like,
and he just got fingers.
Yeah.
So.
Like
I was trying to make a point.
I know.
You put your hands in my face and then.
I have another. If you've seen Alien, I'm thinking of another time. I'm going to interrupt Dave with it.
Anyway, so they had all this stuff with the pre-order, and that game was terrible. And they knew it, and they put it out anyway, and then
that's why they were pushing the pre-order stuff. That's why they were like, here's a pulse rifle. We'll give you a special pulse rifle.
Yeah, and that's
Sega knew.
And
Sega was like,
so that leaves people who are in the know, not so much us, but like professionals who have played these games at trade shows and things like that, to say things like, maybe this game is not going to be that good. Maybe we saw the best part of it when we were at E3 or at this special press event they had. Maybe they showed us the best stuff and they know it and they're trying to get people.
Because I think I remember like Colonial Marines getting E3 award. I think preview awards. So I remember there being little.
I don't remember. Maybe
labels.
There might have been.
Because when here's how it works. If let's say I release a game, Super Dave Hunter.
Hey.
And Super Dave Hunter previews really well, and it's the best game of E3 one year. So but there's a lot of delays. So like it doesn't come out until 2 years later, but it was still the best
game of E3 2014.
Whenever. Even if the same publication reviews it really shittily, I can still use that ribbon on the box.
Yeah, because that sticker was on your booth at E3. Yep. That's usually how they do it. Is they put the stickers on their booths, and they have a vote or something like a week after or 2 weeks after or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those things. It's just like, man, because it was really weird. Because you'll read things that are like IGN or GameSpot's best game of E3, and then you read the review of it, and they're like, this is horrible.
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell we were thinking.
Well, and maybe the vertical slice that they showed you, the 2 levels or whatever it is, the 20 minutes you got to play of it, was amazing, and that was the best part of that game.
Yep.
Maybe the slog up to that point is just as bad as the slog after that point to finish that game.
So, like, the thing is, having these really cool pre-order bonuses and then having them locked to specific retailers is incredibly anti-consumer.
Yeah. No, I mean,
I don't. The fact that like pre-ordering is pretty anti-consumer to begin with.
Well, I mean, I
see. You were then paying for the privilege to pay for something.
Well, I mean, they take that money off of your bill.
Well,
so you're putting your $5 down now so that you pay $55 plus tax later. I get it. I understand the point you're going to say.
Okay.
It is a bad practice, and you really wish it didn't exist.
Like, the only reason pre-ordering games came across it at all is some executive at GameStop went, hey guys, occasionally really shitty games come out, and we're really bad at telling which games are
good
shitty
and which ones aren't.
And what ones aren't. So here's the problem. I have a solution. What we're going to start doing is ordering smaller amounts of every game across the board. So if it's a crazy Japanese dating sim title, we'll only get like 5 copies of it. But if it's like the new Madden, we're only getting like 5 copies of it. We're just going to do this for like 2 years. So the kids get the idea that these things are scarce. That they can't just go to Amazon and order it, or they can't.
Well, when pre-ordering started to become a thing, Amazon really wasn't as big as it is now. Like, we're talking about the early 2000s.
Yeah, we're talking about like the PS1 to PS2 pump.
Yeah.
So they said we're going to start ordering these things in very low quantities.
Yes.
Which, as guys like Dave and I who played a lot of Japanese RPGs in the PS1 era,
and in the SNES and all that, like
there was a legitimate concern of this game just isn't as popular as Madden, so they're not going to order as many of them.
Yes.
So we got really used to like you go to Electronics Boutique. They would be sold out.
Yeah.
You'd
hit up like 3 stores and they'd all be sold out, and maybe the last one you hit.
Eventually, you'd get to one that would be like, okay, it's here. Because
we got like 1 copy.
Yeah. Because if it was a game that wasn't going to be at a Walmart or a Target or wherever else, you had to go to these places.
Yes.
So, and we got used to that.
That don't exist anymore, sadly.
Yeah, because they all got eaten up by GameStop. Anyway, so GameStop said, here's what across the board, all titles, Call of Duties, everything. We're only going to do a small amount. If last year we ordered 100 Call of Duties and they sold, we're only doing 10 this year. If last year we ordered, 5 Mama Kahemas and they all sold, we're only doing 2. Just so we can get these kids thinking that this is going to be a scarcity thing.
Yes.
And we're going to start pitching in pre-orders. You can come in, you can tell us, you just give us $5, put your money down, we'll put it towards the purchase later, and then you'll turn it over.
Yeah, and then we can accurately gauge how many copies of a game we need to buy versus having too many on hand or not enough on hand.
This was the lie that we were told.
Yes.
Okay? What it actually meant was it doesn't matter how many pre-orders we get of anything. We're only going to order so many new copies on top of that, and we've already made that decision.
We're gonna have enough to cover our pre-orders and like 6.
Yes.
Which is fine. Like if they're covering their pre-orders, which is what they said they would do.
Yes.
So they're
it's totally legal, totally above board.
I'm not saying it's a bad practice. Like the fact that they allow you to pre-order games that don't have release dates bothers me. You can already go to GameStop and say, I want to buy Uncharted for the PS4. And we have no freaking clue when that's going to come out.
Or if it will come out.
Well, obviously it will. And you know what?
Uncharted will, but there are games that you can pre-order at GameStop that I'm like, that game's never coming out.
You could have, and there was a handful of people who did this. If you paid for Duke Nukem Forever in the 90s, and you still had your pre-order receipt, they honored it.
Yes.
Why? I don't know. But they sat on your money for 20 years or 10 years or whatever it is and made shitloads of interest.
And here's why it's anti-consumer. Because they made shitloads of interest.
Yes, they just put it in some big account.
Let's say right now you pre-order Alien Isolation because you want that Ripley DLC, you want that Nostromo DLC, which once again Andy's excited about.
Andy wants all that stuff.
Let's say you go down there and do that. You give them your $5 or however the minimum is. We'll say it's $5.
It's $5.
Right now we're 3 months out.
Yeah.
from where that game.
So they're going to make whatever percentage of $5 they're going to make.
Yes.
On your $5 times everybody who.
But here's the funniest thing about it: the minimum that you could pre-order is actually less than their margin of profit on the game.
Yes.
Okay. So there's selling new games is a very low margin.
Oh yeah, they make nickels on.
Yeah, if they sell a new game day one, it didn't have to stay in their store very long. Blah 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 blah. They might make $5 or $10 off of it. Maybe it's probably more like $7, but they're still going to charge you that $5 pre-order. And here's what they do. It's really genius. Is that pre-order money that you gave them earlier still stays in the account, gaining interest.
It goes in a really big bag.
And basically, what they say is, we're just going to take less of a margin on the game that we sold to make more money off the interest later.
Yes.
It's genius. And as a business guy, it's a really good practice on their side.
Mm-hmm.
On your side, it's a really shitty practice.
It doesn't hurt you, though. That's the thing.
No, but it does hurt. Things like this Alien Isolation pre-order DLC bullshit shows that it hurts you.
When you buy a game, maybe... If you're pre-ordering a game,
here we go. If you pre-order
for the pre-order bonuses and not for the core gameplay experience, you're wasting your money anyway.
Here's the thing.
If
you pre-ordered a game, let's say there's the next Grand Theft Auto 6.
Yeah.
We know it's going to come out. GameStop, gets a special.
Well, we already know GTA 5 is coming for the new systems.
I'm just saying.
I know what you're
saying. Far in advance is what I'm thinking of. So GameStop says, Madden 2018 is coming out. We're accepting pre-orders a record 2 years before.
Yeah.
And
they're going to sit on hundreds of thousands of people.
Had you held on to that $5 and put it in a savings account, you would make, by the end of it, you might have $10. You might have $7, whatever.
Yeah.
You're going to make money off of that. And that interest that you were holding on to, and just put it towards the purchase of that game.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing. You just hold on to your money, have a gain interest, take that base money plus whatever interest, put it towards your game. That's a pro-consumer thing. GameStop's not doing that. GameStop said, give me your $5. I'm going to shelf this interest.
And I will sell you the game for $5
And I will sell you the game. I'm going to make money off of you coming and going. Literally, coming and going. You come in, you pre-order it, I'm making money off of you. You come in, you buy it for the rest of your money, I've made the rest of my money off of you, and I'm going to keep making money off of you.
I think the bigger problem with pre-ordering games is not necessarily that GameStop makes a shitload of money in interest off of their game, off of the pre-order itself.
But there's a bunch of people screaming at their screen right now.
That's fine. They can do that. I can't hear them. It's not that the pre-orders themselves are bad. Like, I pre-ordered Destiny just so I can get into the beta. If I think the beta is crap, I will cancel my pre-order on Amazon. It didn't cost me a dime.
Yep. That's why I like how Amazon does it. So
even if I did it at Best Buy or at GameStop, I could always go in and get my $5 back.
Yeah, but not the interest they've made off.
I don't care that they've made 3 cents of interest off of the $5 I put down. I zero. I mean, yes, it's their money. Once I give them the $5, it's their money unless I come back and get it.
Yeah.
My problem with pre-orders is the guaranteed DLC that shouldn't be DLC, and vendor-specific DLC, like at pre-order crap.
Like Watch Dogs. Remember that?
Yeah, like the 9 million versions of Watch Dogs.
That weird table where you're like, if I want this, this, and this, and this,
I have to pre-order this game in 3 different places.
Yeah.
So that stuff is what bothers me the most about pre-orders and developers making deals with certain vendors.
So here's the other thing that came out this week is in a conference call with GameStop investors. GameStop CEO, someone or other, said that, hey, we're actually getting into game development now so that we can have special, instead of just like special add-on content, another level or another
Congregate or something like that. They've got.
No, this is beyond that.
Oh, okay. Because those are like little cell phone games.
When this gets explained to you, you're gonna vomit. Okay, so they said like instead of like us getting an add-on quest or an add-on DLC, let's say instead of this Alien Isolation, we're getting this the Alien part, the Ripley part, and we're getting the game part.
Yep.
We're going to be part of development now, so we also get extra gameplay.
So there's like an extra 3 hours of gameplay.
No.
Brought to you by GameStop.
Not extra 3 hours. Like things that are only available, parts of the game that only work if you pre-order it from GameStop.
So like you get the GameStop special edition.
Yes. So the best explanation, the one that's like the most revulsive, is you buy a Final Fantasy game. Okay. And you pre-order at GameStop.
Yes.
You have the full game. But if you don't pre-order GameStop, you can't summon anybody. There are no summons in the game. If you didn't pre-order GameStop, there are no summons. If you're playing Dragon Age Origins and you didn't pre-order GameStop, the Rogue class is locked out until you buy the DLC.
See,
like actual parts of the game play that they're just shanking off with a hacksaw.
They could do that.
So they've since brought this back a bit.
Yeah, since...
Because the minute everyone heard about it, we were like, no! We hate this thing already! Stop making it worse!
Yeah.
I'm already on fire! Stop pissing on me!
But they're trying to put you out. No, yeah, something like that I don't think developers would go for. I think...
No, I think developers will go for it. Because GameStop's going to go, here's a boatload of money, and here's what we're going to do for you. And Activision or EA
Activision would probably do it. EA might do it. But I'm thinking Japanese developers wouldn't go that way. I don't think Square and Konami and Nintendo and all these other guys, I don't think they would do that because that is dumb.
Call of Duty. You pre-order at GameStop, you have co-op and competitive multiplayer. You don't pre-order at GameStop, you don't have co-op. Or competitive.
You have to pay an extra $10.
You know, but of course we're saying the big examples, the Maddens, the Final Fantasies, the Call of Duties. That's not where this is going to start.
No,
this is going to start in like smaller games. They're going to start eking it in, being like, "Can we do this?" You know, if it's, I'm trying to think of like a franchise that's owned by EA. That here's a good example: Dungeon Keeper.
Oh, Dungeon Keeper, they've already said that was a debacle. That was the worst way to do that. But if you read the
interview about why they think it was a debacle, they think it was a debacle for all the wrong... They're like, we didn't do a good job communicating what the game was. Like, no, you did a poor job making the game.
Yeah. Oh, you've played the game for 5 minutes? Here, now give me $10 so that you can play it for another 10 minutes.
So, like...
Or whatever it was. I don't play...
I'm trying to think of, like, an Activision title that's... Like, if the Tony Hawk games came back out.
Yeah.
Or here's a good example.
Here, you can't play Tony Hawk if you don't.
Guitar Hero, or Band Hero, I guess is what they call it.
Yeah.
Band Hero comes out, you can only get the drums if you pre-order at GameStop.
Well, that's okay. You don't need a pair of drums because you already have one from the last gen and it's USB, so it works anyway.
I'm just saying, like, that's the type of thing. You know, EA...
yeah, they're cutting off certain sections of the game unless you buy it at GameStop.
Yes, which is
dumb. Which is...
And it's not just
remarkably anti-consumer.
Yes, and it's not just like we're cutting off a part of the story or a part of a level or there's added. Yeah. No, we are cutting off the arm of this game's body.
Yeah.
And saying this is now part of it, which is like, it's funny because I remember the slippery slope arguments were always like, this is only going to get worse. 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 This is only going to get worse.
Yes.
And we're finally getting there that like they really think this is only going to get worse. Like, they're only figuring out ways to make this less pleasant for us.
Something like that would make it less pleasant for everybody.
Yeah.
And like and then how would that help the secondary market that isn't GameStop related? Like,
and it's really, really simple to make DLC that does not feel like it is part of the main game.
Yeah.
You know, we've seen you can probably think of countless versions.
You know what?
Extra multiplayer maps, extra quests, you know, an extra storyline quest or something. You know, there's tons of stuff.
An additional character, new costumes, weapons.
Yeah. The Shadow of Mordor game that's coming out. That I'm also really excited for. That's coming out. The Lord of the Rings game. If you pre-order it, congratulations. You get extra challenge maps and a different costume.
And that's fine. Like
easy.
I don't do challenge mode stuff a lot of time, and the costume, unless it has some sort of statistical bonus, I don't think is worth changing up. Like
Watch Dogs, your coat's white instead of brown.
Or and all that stuff you can buy with in-game currency too. Like there's vendors just like there is in Assassin's Creed or whatever.
And the other thing, the worst thing about all this is that now over the past couple of years, the curtain has really been pulled back. So that we can see, like, hey, all those pre-order bonuses, just wait 3 months.
Yeah, just wait 2 or 3 months.
Start throwing them out as DLC.
I mean,
like 99 cents a pop.
For some games it's only 2 or 3 months or whatever. Other games it's like a year. Like there's some sort of exclusivity thing on Destiny that's like a year on Sony consoles.
Yep.
And then Microsoft consoles will get it after that. The point I was going to make though is specifically with Alien, which is what we were going to talk about with this show, and then it turned into we hate pre-orders. But if you've seen the movies, you don't need those pre-order bonuses. You might want them.
Yes, you might
but
want
you don't need them. They're not. If you are an Aliens fan and you were already going to buy this game anyway, that stuff is not necessary. It's not something that you need to spend the $5 on, even though you're going to spend that $5 on it anyway.
If you're like me, you already know how Alien ends. You don't need this extra content. It's really cool. I want to play it.
And really, if you're going to pre-order from GameStop, they know how much they're going to order 2 weeks in advance.
Yeah.
So you just go in, 15 days before that game comes out and put in your pre-order. They can't make that much money off of you in 2 weeks. Yes, they'll probably make a few cents, maybe a nickel or a dollar off of it.
Here's why I disagree with you on that. GameStop has very shitty day one sales.
They do.
Yes. Target, Best Buy, and Amazon have excellent day one sales.
Oh, but they don't have all the pre-order stuff.
They just be like, hey, come in, $40. It's a $60 game, but this week it's $40.
Yeah, and they do,
and it's like that's what I want.
And those retailers do that for movies and music and
everything.
Some of the other stuff.
They do that for everything.
Well, they don't do that for hardware. Like they're not going to do that.
They do that for like.
They're not going to do
toys.
that for. They're going to do that for toys and games and movies, like things that they already have
shelf space for.
Well, and I don't want to say decent margin because I know they don't make much off of that. Like my sister works for Best Buy, so I kind of know they don't make jack off of laptops. They make all their money off of the crap you buy for your laptop.
Yeah.
Your mice,
the normal,
your backpack, things like that.
And that's how their game Target doesn't want 50 copies of a game sitting on its shelves for more than 2 weeks.
No, because they're losing money.
Because they're losing money. That's why they go, okay, you come in, first week, $40.
Yeah, or
shuffle,
50 bucks, $10 off, whatever. Yeah, they do that, and that's fine. That's awesome. And does that, can you still pre-order against that? Can you go, hey, I put $5 down on
Amazon will let you.
Yes.
Amazon has this wonderful thing.
And I believe some places will let you price match it.
Yeah. Amazon has this wonderful pre-order guarantee. You put in your pre-order. If we're going to sell it for less later, you're going to always get the lowest price that we sell it for. So if you pre-order Alien Isolation from Amazon at $60, and they have a week special, like, hey, pre-order it this week, it's $30, and then it goes back up to $60,
you'll get it
you're
for
still getting
$30
it for $30.
Because you put your pre-order in before that.
Yes. So that's excellent. GameStop doesn't do that.
No, but GameStop is all about buying and selling games. That's their core market. Yes, they've started delving into the tablet and phone market, which I don't understand. But that's because they see that, the digital future is coming and they don't want to get caught with their pants down. Okay, so I'm just going to go out on a limb here. I have no evidence to back any of this up. Here's why. Because they know that consumers are wise to their bullshit and they want to be... No. Listen. This line right here is the consumer that shops at Target. Okay. That's their median income at the consumer that shops at Target. Yeah. Up here is the consumer that shops at, I don't know, Abercrombie and Fitch or whatever. Banana Republic. Okay. Here's the guy that shops at Amazon. Slightly above Target, but right in the same neighborhood. Yeah. Here's the dude that shops at Walmart. Okay. Because their prices are cheaper. Because their prices are super cheap. It's not great quality. He probably works there and doesn't make minimum wage. Yeah, it's not great quality stuff, but at the same time, how good a quality jeans does it really need to be if you're only going to wear it for a couple months and then throw them away? Okay, here's the person that shops for technology at GameStop. Well, that's just it, though. The tablets and the phones and stuff that they have, I think, when I was in there one time, I was talking to some lady, or I was behind some lady who was buying a phone. I think she was buying, an iPhone 3, right? Mm-hmm. Those things are 2 or 3 years old at this point. They're still selling it for $300. Yeah. Because once again, the person down here, socioeconomic, doesn't know any better. Maybe they should watch more stuff. Yeah, maybe they should watch us. The person that shops at Walmart isn't buying, a $20 pair of jeans thinking they're going to last forever. Yeah. The person shopping at Banana Republic knows they're spending $100 on a pair of jeans, and this pair of jeans is going to last a while. It's quality stuff. Maybe. I mean, a suit, up here, you're like... Well, but I mean, obviously, unless you're Barney Stinson, you're not wearing a suit every day. It's going to hang out in your closet, and you'll pull it out for special occasions and, dates and whatever. But yes. A suit, that's different. Jeans and shorts, yes. I've noticed the quality difference between buying T-shirts at, Walmart versus Old Navy versus, here's a good example. Old Navy, Gap, and Banana Republic, all owned by the same place. I have T-shirts from both Old Navy, Gap, and Banana Republic. The Banana Republic ones always last longer. Because they're more expensive. And they're made out of higher quality. It's a higher quality thing. Yeah. Anyway, so we keep going way off topic with this.
GameStop knows that.
Yes.
They know that the people that shop at GameStop are not maybe the smartest bunch.
Or not the most up on what GameStop's practices are. They just know they can go in there and get games for cheaper than they can new. And then
the type of people that will go, oh, the GameStop has a new iPhone 3 for $400, or they have this used one for $300. Yeah. I'm going to buy the used one. I'm going to get a good deal on that. It's $100 less than the new one. They don't know that you can go to an Apple store and get a new one for maybe $200.
Well, I don't actually think you could buy iPhone 3s anymore. I think it's only 4s and 5s. But with a contract, you could probably get it for $150, like an iPhone 4 for $150 plus the contract that you have to pay for it.
Yes.
So yes, I get what you're saying.
But the people that shop at GameStop don't.
No. Yes, I know.
And GameStop takes advantage of that. GameStop takes advantage of the fact that people think that, hey, if I pre-order Call of Duty, I can walk in here and get it day one.
And you can.
And I can't do that anywhere else.
But
if I pre-order it now, I have it locked in. It's mine. I can get it.
Sometimes you can't do that, though. That's the thing. Like,
pick out one game that has released in the last year that you haven't been able to get off Amazon day one, Target.
Game or console?
Well, consoles are different. Consoles are different because it's an actual machine.
Yes, it's a physical thing. But so is a disc. A disc in a box is.
But that's like saying, can I walk into? I'm trying to think of something that's applicable to a console. Okay, here we go. Can I walk into Micro Center and get brand new top of the line PC?
Yeah.
Listen.
Okay.
Graphics card the week it came out.
Yes.
Okay. Can I do that at Best Buy?
No.
Can I do that at Target?
Probably not.
Can I do that at?
Definitely not Target. Definitely not Walmart.
CompUSA is still
maybe
around?
At Best Buy. CompUSA is not available in our area. I think they still exist, but not here.
I know Radio Shacks. I'm trying to think about the
Radio Shacks. Definitely not. But no, like for the most part, you can do that. You might be able to do that.
Because Micro Center is excellent with their stocking.
Yes, and Micro Center is a specific kind of store. They sell hardware for computers. They sell full systems. They sell Mac stuff. They sell video games. They sell all the crap you could ever possibly want for a system.
Yes.
Right? For a PC, printers, hard drives, cameras, all the crap, everything.
Here's a better example. That has a comparable audience.
Mm-hmm.
Can I walk into Target, Best Buy, Walmart? I'm trying to think of a specialist music retailer, but I can't.
Because we don't have them anymore.
Yeah. And buy the new Justin Bieber CD the day it comes out.
Probably, because they know it will sell well.
Yes.
A game that would not sell well, say something like I'm looking at your
okay, go for it. I'm going to keep talking while you go through and try to find one. So is there a possibility that I could walk into one of those stores and they will be sold out?
Of the Bieber thing?
Of the Bieber thing.
Probably.
Is there a possibility I could go to 2 or 3 stores and they're sold out?
It is less likely, but it is still possible. See, here's the thing.
But the probability that I get to 5 stores and I'm not able to find the Justin Bieber thing, if I really want it that day, is true.
And you didn't pre-order it.
And I didn't pre-order it. Now, here's the other thing about consoles.
Now,
PS4 launched.
The difference between consoles now and and consoles like 5 years ago, or 5 years ago, the stores on both weren't as robust as they are now, is they have online stores and they have day one.
Yes.
On the store. So even if you don't physically go to a store and buy it,
you
didn't pre-order it, you can still buy it on their store. So, and you don't have a box, which I would always like to see them be cheaper.
Hypothetical. You didn't pre-order it.
It's available only in stores. Okay. They don't have a digital version yet.
Dave, hypothetically, you didn't pre-order a PlayStation 4.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I didn't.
I know. But the PlayStation 4 comes out.
Okay.
And you really want one that day.
Yeah.
Could you go to 5 stores and probably find one to buy?
No.
Could you go to 10?
No.
At what point, how many stores would you have to go to over how many weeks until you could find one?
Specifically with the PlayStation 4? To buy one in retail?
Sure. That's the one we're talking about. That's the example.
Okay. I would say unless I got my happy ass up out of bed and got in line for some days, it would have taken until about January. Or February, before you could have found one in stores without having to do that.
Okay.
Like, you go there after work. You get off at 5 o'clock. You go to Best Buy. Oh, look, they have like 3 in stock. Awesome.
Has there ever been a console game released that you've had to do that for?
No, but there have been PC games released that I had to do that for. When WoW first came out.
Oh, okay, there we go.
Yeah, when WoW first came out in like 2004 or 2003, whatever it was, I played the beta and I was like, oh, this is awesome. And then everywhere I went, all the GameStops, Best Buys, Walmarts, everything was sold out. It has happened before. It hasn't happened recently, though.
Yes.
Because most games you can buy online now. You can buy them on their stores. You can buy them, on Steam or on the PSN.
If you really want to play Alien Isolation the day it comes out, it'll be on the PlayStation Store.
Probably, yes. You don't need to pre-order games. If you want all the pre-order bonuses, wait 3 months.
Yeah, and the pre-order bonuses, you're either getting screwed or you're not really getting screwed. Like, it's still like it's like the worst of two situations.
It's like it's either amazing and awesome or it's a costume or a weapon that is not bad.
Like you're either like it's either like a thing that should have been in the game, or it's a thing that is ancillary to the game.
That could also be said of like day one DLC.
Yeah.
Right? Like we've already seen. Oh god, there's some game coming out soon that I was looking at, and it's like, oh, and on day one you can pay an extra $5 and get this DLC map that adds 2 hours to the game. It's like, are you really going to beat the game in the first day? And, it's like... a
lot of these things I feel like are publishers just going, we need to
make more money off of the stuff that we're selling.
If Game X...
We can't jump the price to $70.
If Game X doesn't sell X amount of copies at retail, then we have to eat all these shipping costs.
Yes.
Or we can buffer that shipping cost a little bit by offering this day one DLC that we'll see if someone pays $5 for.
Yeah. Or if because blah, 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 retailer gave us a good deal.
Yeah. But, games don't come out in a small supply anymore. And even if they do, you can get it digitally.
Yeah. But,
so, now,
there are people like you who have rooms like this.
Yes.
Who want their big collection of stuff
yes.
in a rack versus, oh, I got all these games on this hard drive.
Yes. And... I dare you to pick out 5 games, just randomly go through them and pick out 5 games that I bought new, day one.
5 games?
5.
That you bought new?
Yeah, because you know me, so you'll probably pick out... Well, okay. This one's an easy one because I got it with my system. I didn't buy this day one.
You didn't buy that day one?
I did not buy that day one. I did buy this one day one. So, okay, so we're counting NAC. Okay. I would like to point out we got NAC free when I ordered my system.
But you bought it day one.
Killzone 3 I did not buy day one.
You did not buy day one.
I waited a week. There was a sale.
Oh, okay. I got it for $3 off.
$10, but
nobody buys Wii games new. You didn't have an Xbox until recently. If you're talking about just this,
I'm saying there are at least 5 games on there I bought day one.
Yeah.
But you probably can't pick them out.
It's not Orange Box.
No. Oh, actually, it is Orange Box.
No, good.
I did buy Orange Box day one.
Because you wanted to play...
I wanted to play the episodes, and then I played Portal and fell in love with it.
Yeah, and Portal's good. You didn't buy Final Fantasy... Did you buy Final Fantasy 13 day one? I did, and took it back day 2.
I bought it day one. Okay. That was the worst... And God of War 3, while we're on this, I'll tell this little short story. This was the worst time in Andy's video game playing life. Okay, so
out of the 6 I pulled out...
4. You got to 4.
Yeah.
Okay, so God of War 3 came out. I'm going to try and angle this so it's not... There we go.
There you go.
So God of War 3 came out, and I knew that, 7 days later, Final Fantasy 13 was coming out.
And Ascension. I want to say you probably bought Ascension day one.
I did. Okay, there you go.
There's your 5 out of 7. So I got it. I only missed twice. Out of all the PS3 games that are sitting here.
I'd like to point out, if this was a test, you would have failed.
Shut up.
But I knew that...
Here,
put these back. So I knew that Final Fantasy 13 was coming out in 7 days after I bought God of War 3. But I was like, you know what? Wait, no. Flip that. So Final Fantasy 13 came out. 7 days later, God of War 3 came out. And I was like, okay, I really want to play Final Fantasy 13. I want to play God of War 3 day one. I was like, okay, play Final Fantasy 13. I marathoned it for a week. It was the only thing I did that wasn't working or eating or sleeping.
Yeah.
And my wife hated it, but she got caught up on her shows. Anyway,
that's right. That's what Netflix is for.
I got through to the part right before you are let out into the main world, and the game really opens up and becomes a pretty good Final Fantasy game. And then this came out, and I played it through once, and then immediately played it through a second time, and then played it through again.
Because in the time it took him to play that game,
didn't end up going back to this game for months. Because I should have bought this later.
Because this game is only about 6 hours long. The first time you play it.
8.
6 or 8,
easily 8 or 9.
And then you can haul ass through it in like 4 or 3.
I think I didn't have a trophy for that one that you beat it under 2 hours.
That's a trophy?
Yeah.
Oh God. Forget that noise.
That's one of my platinums. Anyway, so there's a lot of times when I buy a game, I usually think of like, okay, when am I actually going to play this and be able to beat it? And that's usually the thing that goes in. Does Andy want this day one?
Yes.
So like the day ones I'm buying this year are probably Destiny.
Yeah.
And they're probably Shadow of Mordor because I really want that one. Yeah. And still probably Alien Isolation because it's a survival horror game. It'll probably take me a week, maybe 2.
Yeah.
You know, depending on how my work schedule's been changing, if I have time to play games anymore.
Yeah.
But I don't feel the need to pre-order any of those games.
Okay, and to be fair, I haven't pre-ordered. I've pre-ordered games from GameStop because I'm lazy. Okay. There's a GameStop closer to my house than there is a Best Buy. There's a GameStop closer to my house than there is a vintage stock.
I pre-order games from Amazon because I'm the epitome of lazy.
Because you don't want to leave your house.
I don't want to leave the house.
I pre-ordered Destiny.
I want to come home and have it on my doorstep so I can just go in and play it.
Well, I have to install it and take a shower while it installs.
There are games. Okay, so there are games on that rack that I pre-ordered. Can you pick any out?
That you pre-ordered?
Yes. I do like. I don't know if you guys noticed. We're now recording it this way rather than facing the other way.
Because this way we can actually like do this where we pull games off of Andy's shelf right here.
Over the things.
And then Andy can go get all his older games over there. Games you pre-ordered?
Yes, if you can find one on there right before we close the episode, just another cool little Dave trick. We'll see if you can find one I pre-ordered.
I'm gonna go back with Ascension.
No.
No. That's okay. Which one did you pre-order?
No, you can keep going.
I don't want to spend 10 minutes doing this.
Okay, the last game I pre-ordered is on that middle shelf between Killzone and Record of Progress 4. And if you really know me, you'll know what game it is.
Oh, it's the Aragorn's Quest.
No.
Oh, or
keep going. It's a game series that every single rule I ever make about buying video games, this does not apply to one game. It's not that one. This does not apply to
Little Big Planet.
Anything I say about going to GameStop and how horrible
I would hope it's not Layer because Layer was terrible.
Layer. How horrible, like, DLC is, how horrible all this stuff is, how anti-consumers. There's one game series that I would let literally, like, take a dump on my face.
Oh, I was only looking here to here. I would say it's probably Metal Gear.
Yeah, it's Metal Gear Solid 4. It was the last one I pre-ordered it. At GameStop. I showed up.
Well, I mean, it still has the Superman or the Spider-Man stuff on it. Yeah. So it's an old game.
I showed up for the midnight launch. I was like, I'm playing this game.
But that was the last time you did that.
I got home and played like for 8 hours through the night, slept for a little bit, went into work, came back, played.
I'm trying to think of the last game I went to a midnight release for. I want to say it was probably a WoW expansion, and that's really sad. But I want to say, no, it might have been Ascension. I think I went and bought God of War Ascension that way, and then brought it home, and me and the wife stayed up like for 45 minutes after we got it installed and then played that. Yeah, so now what I'll usually do if there's a game coming out and I know I want it, I go to Amazon and I say click and pre-order, and it doesn't charge my card anything. It doesn't charge your card until it ships. Until it ships, which is just the same as me buying it later, and I get the pre-order DLC as like a, I don't know, it's like an afterthought to me. Basically, it's like I'm buying this game now so that the supercomputer knows to charge my credit card later, and it shows up on my doorstep when I come home that day. Yes, or like that's the real reason I pre-ordered from Amazon. I want it that day on my doorstep. Yes. I don't want to go anywhere. I don't like, and I'm weird. I want to drive from my work to my house, get out of my car, pick up game, let my dogs out, get a beer, and go sit in front of my TV. Yes. That's all I want to do. Well, actually, it would be open the box, put it in there, and let it install, and then do all that other stuff. Oh, wait, you have to do all that stuff? I've just been, like, putting the box next to the TV and expecting it to play. It just works. It's like, TV, play this. But, I mean, I'm weird. I don't care about DLC. If it's not included on the disc or in the initial download, I don't care. I don't want it. Unless it's free. 9 times out of 10, the DLC, to me, is so dumb. Like, unless it's, like, something that, like, it's Dragon Age Origins. Unless it's like Azura's Wrath where you get the real finish, the real ending of that game with the DLC. I still want to play that game. I haven't played that game. I've never played that game either. But it looks goofy as hell and it's all quick time events. Yeah, I know. It screams. It's like, Andy, this is so Japanese. You want it. But unless it's like the one I always go back to is when I got Dragon Age Origins, it came with that if you bought it new DLC, and I just. While I was sitting there piddling around while the game was actually installing, because this was back when PS3 games still installed. Well, I mean, PS3 games still have to install. Yeah. I was actually like on the Sony website just typing in codes just because it was there. I'm not doing that. I typed in codes. So
I didn't notice when I played the pre-order deal, the DLCs, but it did feel like so they were that organic part of the game.
Yeah, and having it pulled out because because I think I bought it used for like $10 or $20 later, and I played it and I didn't have the code for the DLC, and the guy's like, "Oh well, go to EA.com or whatever and pay $5."
They really said that in the game.
It was something like that. It's like,
I would have thrown the controller.
It was maybe.
I would have been like done.
You don't have permission to go there. You need to get permission from the overlord. Blah blah blah. And then it gave me a URL to go to, and I'm like, no. And I've seen that. I've seen that in games before, and it bothers me. But I don't know.
I mean, I don't mind so much if it's like a menu thing, and at the bottom of the menu, it's like go to the store and get the DLC. We're done. This episode's done.
This is like an hour long. Yeah.
All right. Bye.
Yeah, we're gonna have to stop abruptly. We'll be back next week.
I mean, we're done talking about it.
Yeah, we're just talking about random crap now.